feel free to always modify and do your own thing. So let's begin by laying down on our backs. Just starting to settle in. Tuning into that breath. We're going to practice one of my favorite breath works, which is box breathing. So the way box breathing works is we're going to inhale to a count of 4. Then you're going to hold it for a count of 4. Then you're going to exhale for a count of 4 and hold it for a count of 4 and repeat. So let's do this together. Let's take a deep inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold it, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. And hold it, 2, 3, 4. Perhaps your count could be longer, it could be shorter. So continuing on your own, to your own count. As you breathe in, just feeling the fullness of this moment. Feeling present right where you're at. See, every breath and every action and inaction that we've taken has led us here for a reason. So just allow yourself to be fully present in this moment. It is very easy to think that destiny is something distant. That your future has already been written and it's just waiting for you to catch up. But what if destiny is actually unfolding right now? How are you guys? You guys need some mats? What if every step, even the ones that felt like detours or delays, were just always part of a greater design? Tuning back to just a natural rhythm of breath. Taking a deep inhale through your nose. And exhale it out. Sometimes life really just doesn't go the way we plan. And we may face certain uncertainties or moments of doubts. And they kind of make us wonder if we're actually on the right path. But what if there is actually no wrong path? What if everything, the joy, the heartbreaks, the stillness, is just shaping you to become who you're actually meant to be? Let's take a deep breath in through our nose. Hold it at the top. Take another sip of air in. Hold it. Exhale it out. So your destiny might not be like this far off destination. It's actually the choices that you make in each moment, the way you show up for yourself and for others, the way you just soften into life when it invites you just to trust. So it's always about that letting go of controlling every detail and just trusting that life is actually working with you and for you and never against you. So today I'll ask, what if everything is already unfolding exactly as it's meant to be? What if you really are right where you need to be? Let's take another deep breath in through our nose. And exhale, releasing anything we need to let go of today. Inviting back some movement into our body. And start wiggling our fingers, our toes. Let's bring those hands overhead for a big good morning stretch. And bringing those knees towards our chest to give our body a big hug today. And very gently rocking back and forth until we meet at a seated position. About a full house. All right. Let's take a deep breath in, bringing those hands up towards the sky. And exhale, release. Always starting to warm up top to bottom, bringing that ear over to one side and on to the other. Perhaps going around in one direction and on the other direction. And coming back to center, looking all the way up towards the sky. And then bringing that chin to chest. Coming back to center, let's plant that left hand on the outer side of our mat. Right hand comes and stretches out. Feeling that deep stretch on the right side of your body. And on to the other side. Coming back to center. Let's take that right leg and let's plant our foot down on the ground. Left arm is going to help us twist over to the right, hook that elbow on that knee. Coming back through center and switching sides. So this time, left foot plants down. We come all the way up, twist, and down. Coming back through center. Let's extend out those legs. Taking a deep inhale as we fall forward. Coming back up. Come on in. You can set up right here next to me. We already saw you, so you can't back out. Let's all meet at a tabletop position.
The tabletop.
This is going to be interesting. We're going to be flipping over a bit, so.
If you didn't want to be in the front, you could probably fit right over there.
So I'll do it.
Okay.
Or actually here on this side, just so your butt's not on Ray's camera. Front forward. Alrighty, so let's take a moment to just tune into that body, see where we're at. Perhaps closing our eyes or softening that gaze down to the ground. And just making movements, maybe with your hips side to side or in circles. Just anything that feels right for just a deeper stretch. And perhaps flowing through some cats and cows. So as we inhale, gaze up, our belly drops, open up that chest. Exhale, push away from that mat, curl your back, gaze through the thighs. Inhaling up. Exhale, curl. And on your next exhale, meeting at a neutral tabletop, planting that left hand, right hand rises up, and we're going to thread the needle over to the left side.
I'm going to do this. I like this.
Always an option for that hand that is planted, so your left hand can stay right where it's at. It can come all the way to the outer corner of your mat. Perhaps you want to take a bind behind your back. And breathe. Slowly coming back up and into that tabletop. This time, right hand plants down, left hand rises up, and we thread the needle over towards the right side. And slowly coming back up to that tabletop. We're going to take that right foot all the way to the right outer corner of our mat. That back leg can stay grounded down for extra support, or we can curl our toes and rise up for a lizard. And here in lizard, we can find some stillness or perhaps sway side to side, front and back, or pulsing up and down.
Ooh.
Maybe taking that right hand to that right knee for a bit of an extra stretch. Just anything that feels right in your body. Let's bring that leg back. So we're in a high plank. Left foot comes all the way to the top of our mat for our lizard on the other side. And again, finding just any variation for a deeper stretch. We are going there. She already knows the flow. That's so funny. Let's plant those hands at the top of our mat and bring that back foot all the way to the front so we can hop into what Vienna just called froggy, but it's actually our malasana or yogi squat. You can use those elbows to create extra stretch on those knees. And slowly rising up as we wiggle our feet together. Hands come up towards the sky and down on our sides. Are we ready to flow?
Yellowy say.
Alrighty. This is my favorite flow. So let's take a big inhale with our hands up towards the sky and exhale, falling forward. Lifting up halfway, creating that flat back, that kind of figure number 7 shape with your body. Oh, the skier. And falling forward one more time. Taking a bend to our knees as much as needed so we can plant those hands at the top of our mat and stepping or hopping back into a high plank. I know. No, not yet. Lowering halfway down, coming with our chest through for that upward facing dog, and rising up our hips towards the sky for our downward facing dog. Taking the moment here in this first downward facing dog to perhaps paddle or walk that dog. So making little bends to opposite knees, perhaps even swaying your hips all the way side to side. Right leg rises up. Let's take a bend to that knee, and let's bring that knee over towards our right elbow. This one. Kicking back to that 3-legged dog. Taking a bend to that knee, let's hover it over in the middle. And all the way back up. And once more, now bringing that knee over towards that left elbow. Dropping that foot over towards the left side of our mat. We can stay right here or grounding from that right hand, left hand rises up. Planting that hand back down. Let's kick that foot back into that 3-legged dog. Planting it at the top of our mat and slowly rising for a crescent.
The fuck was that?
I'll explain later. Bro, seriously, time out.
Get the chancla.
Opening up towards the left for a warrior 2. So warrior 2 is going to be our resting pose. Take a few inhales and exhales. Reaching all the way forward. And reverse. Coming back through that warrior two. Cartwheeling those hands all the way down to the top of our mat. Stepping or hopping back into a high plank. Dropping those knees, bringing hips all the way back for a child's pose. Option here, my favorite child's pose, bringing those knees far, far out wide in the mat. And then from there, walking my hands all the way down and bringing my chest down towards the ground. And when you're ready, meeting back at a downward facing dog. Left foot rises up, taking a bend to that knee, bringing that knee over towards the left elbow. Kicking back up to that three-legged dog. Bringing knee over, hovering in the middle. And back to that three-legged dog. And this time, knee over towards the right. Dropping that foot. And again, option to stay here or grounding from that left hand. Right hand rises up. Planting that hand back down on our mat. Kicking back up to that three-legged dog. Left foot plants at the top of our mat. Slowly rising up. Did it get warm? Opening up towards the right for that warrior two. Reaching forward and reverse. This time as we come through that warrior two, cartwheeling those hands down, taking that foot back for a high plank and moving through a chaturanga. So coming halfway down to our upward facing dog and back to our downward facing dog. And dropping those knees on our mat and moving back into our child's pose. Tuning back into that breath. Perhaps taking a sip of water. And when you're ready, meeting back at a downward facing dog. Gazing forward to the top of our mats and stepping or hopping our feet to the front for a forward fold. Allowing that upper body to just hang heavy. Imagine you're holding weights on your hands. And your entire back, neck, hands are just falling towards the ground. And very, very slowly, vertebra by vertebra, start rising up, allowing your head to be the very last to meet. Taking a few rounds of deep inhales and exhales. And on that next exhale, let's bring those hands up towards the sky, inhaling up, and exhale, releasing them, falling all the way forward. Lifting up halfway. And falling forward one more time. Taking a bend to those knees as much as needed, so the palms of our hands can meet the top of our mat, and stepping or hopping back into a high or supported plank. And moving through a chaturanga or meeting at a downward facing dog. Hey, how are you? Right leg rises up. We take a bend to that knee. We're gonna flip our dog. So we're gonna move into wild thing or supported wild thing. So if we're gonna do supported wild thing, drop that knee down on the mat. Right foot comes towards the left side of our mat and we flip open. We're going into full wild thing. We're flipping that foot and our chest up towards the sky. Coming back to that three-legged dog and your downward facing dog. Right leg rises up, planting that right foot at the top of our mat, and once more rising up to that crescent. Be mindful of your hands, ma'am. So in any pose that involves your hands to be connected to the floor, your support has to be in this. So imagine there's a J.
Started blasting.
This is where you're going to be. You don't want it here. You don't want to dump on your wrists. Opening up for that do. Warrior 2. Reaching forward. And reverse. Moving back to that Warrior 2. It's like warm up, cool down, warm up, cool down. This time, as we move forward, let's take a bend to that front hand. Back hand tries to reach the front of the room. Option here in our side angle, perhaps we come all the way down, or maybe even taking that right hand under right leg, left hand behind into our bind. Opening up back to that warrior two. He's got VIP pass. Flowing down, cartwheeling those hands down to our mats into a high or supported plank. Dropping those knees and coming back to that child's pose, or perhaps keeping those hips up and space and walking our hands all the way out for a puppy pose. Like a dying puppy or something. And when you're ready, meeting back at that downward facing dog. Gazing to the top of our mat and stepping or hopping up towards the top for a forward fold.
The forward fold is slept on.
And very, very slowly, vertebra by vertebra, start rising up. John's like, who invited me to this class? Mind you, they can attest that this is the first time I actually teach power. So, and it's not even a power flow, because power flow is breath to movement. So it's a very toned down body pumping.
This is hard. You suck.
Twice in the morning. Taking a deep inhale together and exhale, falling all the way forward.
Shoulder day.
Lifting up halfway, creating that flat back. Or stay right where you're at. And falling all the way forward once again. Taking a bend to those knees so we can plant those hands at the top of our mat and stepping or hopping back into that high plank. And moving through a chaturanga or meeting at a downward facing dog.
Fork.
The left leg rises up. We're going to take a bend to that left knee. And we're going to flip the dog over to the other side. So if we're going to do full wild thing, let's take that left foot over towards the right. Left hand comes up. Ooh, handshake. There we go. Planting that palm back down and into our three-legged dog. Left foot comes to the top of our mat as we rise up for our crescent. Can we sink a little bit deeper into that crescent? Rising up and opening towards the right for that warrior two. Reaching forward and reverse. This time, as we move through that warrior two, we're going to lean forward and into our side angle. So that left hand now can come over that left knee or coming all the way down or under and trying to reach that bind. And slowly coming back up to that warrior two. Cartwheeling those hands to the top of our mat, back into our plank, and you know it, into that child's pose. So the reason I always cue child's pose after every flow is because this is the perfect flow, the perfect pose to internalize and for your body to slow down and for you to be able to tune into yourself and process the movement that you just did versus powering through an entire class and then leaving here with so much energy moving around that you might have missed why you came. So it's for you guys to take a moment to just breathe and tune back into that body. Take a sip of water, anything you need. When you're ready, coming back to a downward facing dog. Right leg rises up. Let's take that right knee over towards our right elbow. But don't worry, guys, this time we're dropping it for a pigeon. Mini heart attack, but not. In pigeon, always an option to stay up in active pigeon pose or start walking those hands down, maybe coming down to your forearms or melting your chest all the way down and into the ground. Now, if pigeon feels kind of funny, the other way to do it is a reclined figure four. So taking that same right leg, sitting down in a figure four and coming on our backs. Always options to modify.
I'm glad I was.
And start doing assigned seating. I thought Joey was the problem, and he's not even here today. That's on record, Joey, there. I said it.
Yeah, where the fuck is he?
He had a rowing race.
Rising back up. Switching those legs, bringing that left foot to the top of our mat, taking a bend to that knee. Right leg extends out, squaring off our hips with the top of our mat. And again, always an option to stay up here in active pigeon pose or coming all the way down to forearms. What up? Slowly coming back up, making our way to our backs. Once we're on our backs, let's bring those feet together and walk them all the way over to the left side of our mat.
Oh, banana.
Bringing hands overhead and also walking them towards the same side, creating a little either half moon or a banana. And breathe. Walking those feet over to the other side. Let's payback Ryan, the other Ryan. He knows who I'm talking about. Coming
Ryan with
back
an
through
A.
center. Bring those knees towards our chest. Give them a big, big hug. Perhaps allowing our body to gently rock side to side. And allow those knees to fall all the way towards the right. Coming back through the center and onto the other side. Coming back to the center, let's plant those feet down, bringing those hands towards our side, setting up for a bridge pose. So arms come long on our sides, hands are planted by our hips, pressing off from those feet and the palms of our hands, lifting up our hips towards the sky. And slowly coming back down. And once more, moving into that bridge pose, or perhaps if you feel like it, going into a full wheel. Beautiful. And slowly coming back down. Taking the moment to do any final movement that your body is asking for before we move on to our Shavasana sound bath. when you're ready, taking a comfortable position, lying down. Legs can come out extended all the way through, or perhaps taking a bound angle pose where you connect the soles of your feet and create like a little diamond with your legs. Hands can be by your side, placed anywhere you'd like. Let's use that breath to scan our bodies and relax any bit that is left there to be able to enjoy fully our sound bath. So let's take a deep inhale through that nose. And as we exhale, relaxing the crown of our head. Relaxing our forehead. Releasing any tension from our eyes. Jaw. Relaxing your tongue and your lips. Relaxing your neck. Releasing any tension left on your shoulders. Relaxing those arms and hands. Relaxing your chest. Relaxing your belly. Taking a deep inhale. And as we exhale, relaxing those hips. Feeling our body sinking deeper onto the mat. Relaxing those legs. And finally, relaxing your feet. Taking a deep inhale through our nose. And as we exhale, feeling how our entire body relaxes down. Taking one more big inhale through the nose and holding it at the top. Take a little bit of air in, hold it. Exhale it out. And one last time, let's take a deep breath, the biggest breath you've taken today. Holding it at the top. Take a little bit more in, maybe a little bit more. And exhale it out. Starting to bring back some awareness into our bodies. Wiggling those fingers and toes. Taking hands overhead for a big, big stretch. Rocking onto one side of your mat. Taking a few inhales and exhales. Enjoying one last moment of stillness. And very, very slowly making your way back to a seated position. Taking one last big collective inhale all together, bringing those hands up towards the sky, connecting palms as we exhale all the way down. I hope you guys enjoyed it. From my heart to yours, namaste.
Namaste.